So yeah, if you really wake up to the fact that every nation is Babylon because the God of this world is the devil, then you kind of get free. So because you realize if every nation is Babylon, all their music, media, news, TV is creating clones of Babylon. And so people around you, whether they're narcissistic or Jezebelic or psychopathic or whatever they are, they just been brainwashed by the system. But it's those kind of people that keep it floating, because some of us broke free. Some of them people, they know what they're doing. They heard the truth and they rejected it. They chose the evil side, you know. They chose to be evil. They'll say something like, the only reason I'm evil is because I was forced into it. Nah, they chose to be evil. God always makes a way of escape. Even if one of them's listening to me right now, you can change your life right now. Just receive Jesus into your heart by faith and let him do the change. And it doesn't matter. The people who wrote the Bible, Moses, he was a murderer. Paul was Saul, he was a murderer. Anybody can be saved, even a murderer. But you got to be real about it. Be serious about it. And you can't blame anybody else. That's the problem. People want to blame, well, everybody else is evil, so I have a right to be evil. No, you have to look at yourself in the mirror. You can't. You're not going to face off with God, and other people are going to be there. It's going to be you and God alone. I'll get some heat going here. You're going to face off with God by yourself. Your mama ain't going to be there. Your daddy. Here's what gets me about people too, is that they put their mama or their daddy or their family before God. Their family's teaching or in a cult, and they decide to follow their family instead of following God. Blows your mind. The will of the flesh, the will of the Gentiles, and the will of mankind versus the will of God. So whose will are you gonna follow? God's will, or the will of the flesh, the will of the Gentiles, or the will of mankind? Are you gonna do God's will or do mankind's will, or the flesh? Which will are you gonna serve? Nobody's perfect, but where's your heart slanted? Is your heart slanted towards God's will? There's some legalists out there that think they never do. I mean, look, if you're still on the earth in the 3D, there's stuff you got to work on. Enoch walked with God and was not. If you're still on the earth, God has got some refining to do on you. There's some people that actually look down on other people because they're still struggling. If you're still here, you're in the flesh body. You're still struggling. But the struggle can go away when you die daily. But you get up every day, you got to die daily. But the part of the pushing out the baby is the struggle. The sanctification process is the struggle, you know. It's funny how sometimes I'm in the flow when I'm just speaking. That last video I did, I listened to it, some of it, and I thought, who is that? I was talking about Babylon. I was just flowing like crazy because it was on my mind so strong. I'm glad people received that about Babylon. I thought everybody would reject it, but it's the truth, because you're actually right smack dab in the middle of Babylon. Your flesh mind is the old Adamic nature. The old Adam is Babylon. The new Adam is the promised land. Stepping into the new Adam all the time, day by day, moment by moment, when in conversations, when you have to face off with narcissists during the day, and you choose to be in the promised land and not in the flesh. Yeah, they're going to come up and test you and try you. That's what the devil does. But once you go through enough cycles with people, you've seen it over and over. Why did you do that? We need you to do this. Okay. All right. Yeah. I'll take care of it. Y'all charged me an extra 5 cents. Oh, okay. We'll refund it. Sorry. This place is terrible. This is a Mickey Mouse show. Yeah, I know. We're working on it. I had an uncle, he used to say that. That's a Mickey Mouse business. And it sure is. Most of them are. It's all Mickey Mouse, really. 1313, Mockingbird Lane. Most people are just out for themselves. Until you start your own business, you don't really know what it means to go to a business and be a team player. When you run your own business, it's a different story. You realize how important every choice, every decision. Let's say you have a little carpentry job that you're doing or something. If you walk out to the truck, could be electrical, plumbing. If you walk out to the truck, carry some trash with you. Don't make a trip. Don't waste a trip. That's how I get stuff done. People are like amazed. They say, how do you get this stuff done? Because every time I go get some tools to go fix something, I take something back with me. And if I don't have anybody, I take some trash or something with me. I do a chore on the way back to get more tools. You kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So you're working on a job and you forgot a tool. So on your way back, you grab some trash or something and you take it down with you. That's how it works. That's how you get it done. That is how you get it done. You don't waste a trip. I feel like this car is pulling to the right a little bit. But people who never ran a business, they want to just sit on the clock that 8 hours and just collect that money. Waste as much time as possible. If you think about it, even a robot's going to have downtime. Let's say some company buys this $30,000 robot and it breaks down. They might not pay health insurance and all that for them, but the robot breaks down, it costs them $5,000 to fix it, So no matter how you try to run a business, there's always going to be expenses. Can you write off the robot's labor? I don't think so, because it's a machine. And so you can write off on your taxes the labor of the employees, but you can't write off a robot, the taxes on a robot. I guess you can write it off, but it loses. You can write it off as a business expense, but it's going to lose its value after so many years. You might be able to write it off 3 to 5 years, and then you can't write it off anymore. But the employee, you write their salary off every time. They wanted to pull you and me and anybody who is a believer back into the Babylonian hive mind, the Gnostics and the witches and the cults and the ism. They want to pull you back into sorcery and witchcraft. And they'll do anything they can to pull you into the hive because resistance is futile. We saw that with the Borg, the 666 cube Borg hive mind. So the Borg says resistance is futile. We're going to make you use a cell phone. We're going to make you use a telephone. We're going to make you use technology. We're going to eventually put it on your forehead. And you can't live without it. So it talks about they can neither buy nor sell without the mark of the beast. You can hardly function without a phone right now. And so a computer or a phone. If I was everybody else, I would get rid of my Windows. I got rid of Windows 25 years ago when I started Linux. And I don't know why people don't leave Windows. Linux does everything you need. Unless you're using it for a job or something. Unless you're using it for a business or something. But most applications are duplicated. Oh, just talking. I'm just glad people see Babylon. I was worried I was the only one to see it, but I guess I'm not.